I've been called lots of stuff. Yeah, I've done a lot of deed. I've added rough and tough. You know I've smoked a lot of weed. Mellow, don't you know? Well, I've learned a thing or two, like when and where I should go to, what I should or shouldn't do. I've been left alone, no company, but that's alright with me, 'cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. I'd like to let it grow, you know I'm talking about my beard. I'll have you all know that I know sometimes it might look weird, but I got a friend upstairs whom I'll keep confiding in. I know he's there 'cause when I knock he always lets me in. Brings me peace with what it is and what is not for me. To accept what I see, they're looking back at me as big and ugly. Big and ugly. I could have been small and cute and play a flute like a dream, or sing like an angel, maybe play ukulele. But I got to work with my hands and keep dragging it along, banging on that old guitar. Sometimes I'll write a song. I lose a few friends, so it seems I got no enemies. 'Cause what you get is what you see, that's how it is with me, 'cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. Big and ugly.
Hey, welcome back to the Big Uglies, everybody. I'm your host, Josh Denny, and your other host is sitting next to me, Mr. Carl Spitali, everybody.
You're looking at him.
Welcome.
Friday. You're looking at him.
You're looking at him. We're starting a little bit late tonight because I had a Tuesdays with Maury Alzheimer's blackout session earlier and just came to and was like, oh, I must have fallen asleep. It's one of those weird middle of the day comas. You ever fall into one of those?
Do you get dreams when you get those? Do you dream when you get those and you go like, holy shit, was I just dreaming, or did that just happen, or did I just call somebody? What just happened?
Well, a lot of times what happens is if that happens, it's I'm in front of the TV, and so whatever podcast or whatever is playing in the background is like part of my dreaming and whatever. So
Inception.
Yeah, it becomes like me, and Piers Morgan and fucking Joe Rogan. I mean, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it just becomes this weird thing. And then strangely enough, I think on a day where I know we're podcasting, and then there are podcasts playing in the background in your dream mind. You're like, yeah, I'm doing the podcast, right? And then you wake up and you go, oh, none of that was happening.
You're like, oh no, actually, I was supposed to be doing the podcast.
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, I just woke up and I'm not doing the thing I thought I was doing that I know that I need to do.
Did you never care about school, or did you had the, oh no, I'm late for school fucking feeling?
All the time. Yeah. I used to care about school so much that if I was late, I wouldn't want to go because I was like, it was almost like a waste day or something.
I had this realization that I was allergic to school. Like, I know it doesn't make sense without context. Because I have a college degree, but
well, that's
I say this. I say all that to say this. Every morning I woke up for school throughout high school, and a lot of times, a bunch of times in college, I threw up in the morning.
Yeah,
and I didn't know it was like what, but like when I finally graduated, stopped playing football, and like I never, when I woke up in the morning, I never ever just woke up in the morning and puked ever again. And I was like, was I allergic to school?
That's your hypothesis?
I mean, I had like, I don't know, 22 years of experience.
You don't think it has anything to do with like the pressure of being a Division I athlete and
but
feeling
no, even before I was a Division I athlete or any pressure than that, I was in high school and I was puking.
Yeah.
And I wasn't bulimic because I would to enjoy the food and hold it down.
Was it from all the dicks you were sucking at Penn State, or did that make you queasy? By the way, speaking of upset stomach, but also I should never have transitioned like that. It's like, speaking of dicks, last night. No, I had I was like craving Taco Bell last night randomly.
I did that a couple nights ago.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, you know what I need? You know what I haven't had in a while? Garbage.
Gong.
And so
Taco Bell knows what's up though.
Yeah, when it comes to like late night garbage, when you open their menu, it's like Wonka's playlist, dude. It's like, oh my god, they melt cheese on everything. I'll have one of those and one of those and one of these. And last night I just had like, I was craving like their nacho cheese, so I just got like one of their boxes that was like a case.
You get the chips and cheese.
Cheese. Yeah, yes. yeah. And I got that, and then I was like, also I'll get a grilled cheese burrito. And I
haven't had one of those yet.
Oh my god, it was all so amazing. And then around 5 o'clock in the morning, my ass turned into a volcano. Like you ever had one of those? You ever have?
I gotta stop you right there.
You ever have one of those shits that you feel when it starts in your stomach, where you go like, "This is about to be a shit."
Yeah, but dude, you said volcano. I saw a volcano video literally yesterday.
Okay.
And it was a magnificent sight because it was lightning, like coming out of
around the volcano,
around the whole volcano. Just there's lightning, like
yeah. It was a real Pompeii situation.
And now you're like, dude, I had volcano shit, and I'm just like, oh. Now what I saw in the video is no longer a beautiful thing.
Well, I don't think there were streaks of lightning through my volcano shit. I can promise you that. I think it was a pretty normal scenario.
Was there fire and lava?
There was that. Yeah. Yeah, I think Taco Bell should have to name their sauces after what it does to your asshole. Fire.
But they do that, right? There's mild, fire, and Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo. I met Diablo last night. I can tell you that.
That's a devilish shit.
Gentleman. He was a real unfriendly gentleman.
A demon of a shit, if you will.
You know what's funny though is like we're sitting here talking about. I told you I haven't eaten anything since that last night because it upset my stomach this morning. Everything else, and now we're sitting here casually talking about Diablo and everything else, and shitting and volcanoes and Mazatlan, and I'm like, we should go to Don Cuco.
You're just hungry.
That's how fat my body is. Is like, you want to go again? So that's fun. Speaking of fat people going again, no, speaking of school, no, there's no transition here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. I got it.
No,
I got it.
Show me the transition. Transition is wrong.
Speaking of getting beat up for no reason. Speaking
of wrecked holes.
Speaking of getting willfully getting beat up for no reason.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I went on a little bit of a tirade about this the other day. Well, you and I had a couple of sports revelations independently this week, and then we came together as we were talking about the show, prepping for the show. Go ahead.
That's it. No, that's an Ayo.
Oh, okay. So, my revelation.
We didn't come together.
Okay. No, I said independently. We came to revelations independently, and then we came together. They hate us because they ain't us, Carl.
We didn't come together.
Carl, they hate us because they ain't us. No, first of all, we're not exclusively a sports show anymore, and we'll talk about it as it sort of comes and goes. But this week, there was like a lot of stuff in the world of sports going on. And one of them that kind of pissed me off and blew my mind was this clip I shared on X the other day of Caitlin Clark. And I'll pull it up as soon as I can.
It pretty much pissed everybody off, though. Because nobody watches the WNBA, so we only see it in clips.
Yeah. So we have to see it on.
Everybody was like, hey, dude, what the fuck is going on in WNBA?
Yeah, well, and so historically, I think the understanding is that like black women hate Caitlin Clark because she's white and they feel like she stole their dumb little bullshit sport from them, right? And then you watch some of these clips and you go like, oh, she's getting gangbanged by everybody, not just black women.
She's getting roughed up.
So I saw this clip that Defiant L's, god damn it, why does that do that? Defiant L's posted on X. Why is it full screen? I want you to full screen in the window. Don't full screen my whole thing.
If you hate your life and want to be a producer for us.
Yeah. We would love that, wouldn't we? You could do it remotely too, probably. Here we go. Yeah, so this was the video I saw that just kind of enraged
from the stands.
Yeah, somebody posted this angle of it. But this is if you watch here, I'll kind of go through it slowly. Caitlin gets poked in the eye. And then she goes, oh, what the fuck, pushes the girl back, and then just gets demolished by another white bitch. I got to be honest, I thought it was this big black bitch here to the left, but it wasn't. It was another white girl who came up and just pushed her to the ground. And so you see this stuff, and you just go,
you see the big white goofy bitch is the perpetrator. And, but then, I would just want to say this.
A little zoomed in here, so now you can see it. Pushes her back.
So she thought it was a stop. She thought it was a stop play. Right?
Yeah.
There's a whistle, there's a push, and then there's a that, which is fine. All of this. See, this is what people don't get about it and why there's more outrage is they're seeing a girl get thrown on the ground.
Yeah.
And you're not used to it. There's no WNBA clips that's ever been like, and this bitch got thrown on the fucking floor for no reason and we cared.
Right.
Right? This is the only time that people cared because there's eyes on her.
Mm-hmm.
Bitches probably have been getting thrown on the floor in the WNBA for the last 26 years. Since its inception.
We have no idea.
We had no idea they're throwing.
Is this new? We don't know.
So she's highlighting their whole league.
Right.
And even the sour spots and we came to the realization that it's yes, all women, believe all women when they say they're all crazy bitches. And because this shows that even when the shine
Which shine? This shine or this other shine? There's a lot of shines out there. Which one are we talking about?
We can take this clip. I like the other angle. This is like far away.
It wasn't the shines this time. It was the mats.
No, I'm saying when she's trying to bring shine to the league.
Yeah,
she's getting you guys chartered flights. She's up in your meal game. You're getting sponsorship deals. For that to happen, they should be like, oh man, they should treat her like she's Jordan and be like, oh man, Caitlyn get whatever she wants, and go, yeah, she does.
Yeah,
they should just joking openly because she's doing all this for you guys passively. She's not even doing it like on the forefront of like, look what I'm doing for you bitches.
Well, I also wanted to
humble
share,
and
and I also wanted to share this thing that you sent me as well, which is this is sort of like related to that, right? So like this is another WNBA player,
Kelsey Plum.
Yep, who's reacting to a fan wanting autographs, and the audio on the
appreciate that. Whichever one. The bus was right here.
Yeah. Don't you find that kind of weird? Low-key? Like low-key, come on.
A little, but
okay. I'm really turned off right now.
I'm just a fan though.
I know, I appreciate that.
You signed one, you put my name on it.
Turned off. Are you supposed to be turned on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have fans and it's a turn off for you?
Keep killing it this year. Appreciate that.
I'm really turned off. You guys just stand out here.
The bus was right here.
Nobody has your fucking rookie card.
Low-key? Like low-key.
This guy has your cards. Even if he's selling memorabilia, nobody even buys that.
I know. I appreciate that.
You signed one, you put my name on it.
Very much like this is very much like the Moneyball thing of like first one to the wall always gets bloody. Like you don't want to be the first WNBA fan. You know what I mean? Like this, because the reason it's weird to her is because she's never seen it before. That should humble you. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like if I walked outside and some chick was out there trying to suck my dick, and I was like, you're the first person out here ever to try to do this. You don't think this is a little weird? No, I would be like, wow, thank you. This is very nice. I'll pontificate how I feel about it after I get sucked. But this guy has a booklet of fucking rookie cards and stuff, and he's like, hey, can you sign these? I'm a fan. And they're just like, you don't think this is off-putting? It's like, oh, you fucking cunts.
Did you say pudding?
But it's just like
off-putting.
It's not like he's standing there masturbating underneath the booklet of cards.
Even if he was,
you should be like, wow, this is very nice. Thank you.
Even if he was, God forbid.
But I share that to be like, so this is just further proof. And I posted a big thing on Twitter about this. Was like, this is just proof that modern women are fucking horrific people. Like this,
but Jordan, you know who's not like that though?
Jordan-like woman comes along and elevates the sport of women's basketball forever, and every other bitch in the league is like, yo, fuck this. Like, we don't want her to like add meritocracy to the WNBA. We want the men's league to pay us more money. We don't want to have to go out and earn it. And Caitlin Clark's the first one who's come along and is like, no, I'll earn it. Give me $100 million Nike deal.
So I'm glad you said that, because I kind of wanted to have this sort of discussion about it. I'm sorry this one isn't that funny or whatever, but I do want to say this has to do with something.
It'll be funny. We're talking about bull dykes playing a sport, Carl. It's going to get to being funny at some point.
But I'm just saying, no, you brought up a good point, and this Jordan-like player comes along. I'm just going to ask you, obviously it's a little rhetorical, but was Jordan humble?
No.
Right.
Not at all.
Is Tom Brady humble?
No. I would not use humility to describe any of the GOATs. Maybe Gretzky. Gretzky might be the only one who was kind of humble, but he's Canadian, so what do you expect?
However, and this is what I want to talk about. They actually do have humility, right? Mm-hmm. There's I know I can't, like, if you, even in
but there's time and place
the Jordan documentary,
yeah,
where he's like, I wanted these guys to bring the best out of them, and I know I couldn't do it without him, so I needed him to do this. I know I couldn't do it without him, so I had to do this. I couldn't do it without Phil, so I had to, that is humility. And there's a sort of thing like, but we have a society where it comes to like, it's in prevalent rap songs. Like Kendrick Lamar has a famous line. He did it at the Super Bowl, right? And it's cliche, and people say it all the time. Sit down, be humble, or you need to humble yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a confusion between humility and humble acts. And and humility is like the internal act, or excuse me, the internal process, and humbleness and the ability to show is only done through these acts, and like people trying. So like even people go like, oh my God, I love them as an athlete, they're so humble. And I go, no, they're media trained, right?
Yeah, and
right?
the thing I would say about that is there's a time and a place for it too. Like you don't need to talk shit in an interview after a game, but you
can talk shit on the court, and then as soon as that's done,
I was going to say there's no room for humility in the middle of competition. You know what I mean? Like
correct.
When Michael Jordan's giving props to Tony Kukoc and Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, he's not doing that in the middle of the Game 7 against the Pistons. Right. You know what I mean? Like he's I'll fucking kill you niggas. Like, so that's not the time for the humility. The humility is in hindsight.
Right. And so there are people who are even in true authentic humility were vilified for it, like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Right? Tim Tebow was the ultimate the humble guy. But I just mean if when you look at even in our business or some A-list actor, and they get to a thing, and this will probably relate to our hockey discussion, but people go, man, you're making all this money, or hey, you did this, hey, you need to sit down, you need to humble yourself, because you're shining. And your shine is gonna shine a light on how much I feel inferior to what you're doing.
Yeah,
so you're very, very confident in yourself. I don't like that. You're very, very outgoing, and your belief in yourself. I don't like that. You're all of this. I don't like it. You need to humble yourself. And I go, well, I do have humility though. And they go, no. Well, I go, yeah. True humility is with the Lord. And but that's where it comes from.
The singer Lord with her,
which she has to have a bush the size like that looks like her size.
Actually, no. Right? She just released a new music video today where she's pretty much naked the whole time, and I don't think she has hair on her body anywhere. She's like a seal. Not that seal. Not the kiss from a rose seal.
I was like, ew, dude, she's got bumps all over.
No. The Lord is smooth like a seal, not the seal.
Mm. Yo, seal definitely looks clubbed though, doesn't he?
Yeah, Seal's been clubbed. Seal's been clubbed while clubbing.
What is that shit? It's not.
It's so funny that you ask, because I looked it up the other day out of curiosity. I was like, what?
It's not acne.
No, it's a condition. It's like a progressive autoimmune thing that causes continuous scarring of the face.
No.
Because if you've noticed, it's metamorphosed over the years, and it's gotten worse.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's an actual condition.
Yeah, it's called Clayface, and he fought Batman. That guy's a villain, and that's why he was in Batman singing a song.
You know what's funny too is like when Lorde was a teenager, when her first music came out, and I was like, oh, what an awkward, weird Australian. She's trying to be like a strange Lady Gaga or whatever. And then I watched her Hot Ones episode that was like from a couple years ago, and she was like the most talk about humble. She was like the most pleasant, like sweetest person that's ever been on the show. She's like, oh yeah, I like spicy foods, and it's quite lovely. And you're just like, oh, okay, all right, well, what a nice young lady. Like, she just was like so pleasant.
So I think the humility part, what appears to be, and this is what transcends to the people about Caitlin Clark, she does have a sense of humility about her, in which she'll be like, she doesn't carry the confidence and shit talking and all that off the court. Off the court, she very much is a down to earth, gracious girl.
Yeah, her and Lord are very similar in that way, where they're what the character that they play in the heat of the moment.
That is an appeal, and it's also an appeal that you can't explain to other women, because other women are fake polite, other women are fake humble, other women are fake. They do these acts and they don't understand what real humility is. They don't understand what real. And there's a difference between
real gratitude. They don't have real gratitude either.
There's a difference between real humility, where you are, gracious, and there's a grace and a kindness to it, but there's also humble acts, which I would basically call PR, where you are appearing to be because I had this discussion. I was talking to I forgot what I was talking about, but
you're talking about humility.
That she, if it wasn't for her being in the WNBA and the actual requirement for her to talk to the media, she wouldn't.
Right.
Because she has actual humility.
Right.
Her PR and media training is, hey, we're going to go ahead and keep showcasing that, make sure that you're cordial and gracious. And so she never goes out there. But there's plenty of times when any player go out there like, look, man, how many times I'm going to get sacked before, somebody out here blocked for me. That was the problem. That's why, and not to be, they're both young athletes, but that was the problem with Shedeur, is that people felt that Shedeur, in saying that after Nebraska game, when they asked him, hey, you got sacked a bunch of times. What do you think happened out there? He goes, did you ask Rayola how many times he got sacked?
Yeah.
And shit. And it was just like, what are you trying to do, kid? This looks like you're not.
Yeah, you're deflecting. You're putting it off
and
on
you don't have humility about this. And that's what people see. And so it is a resonating factor that she's selling tickets, and like, to compare it to the Kelsey Plum thing, she signs little girls' autographs. Little girls want to buy her jersey. Little girls want to buy a Caitlin Clark shoe when it comes out. Even dudes wait outside and buy her jersey and say, can you sign this? And she has no problem, because she doesn't think it's creepy. She doesn't call the dude weird. She doesn't say it's just low-key creepy, isn't it? Yeah. She goes, thank you so much. I can't believe you're a fan of mine. I'm authentically humble. I don't have to do these egregious humble acts where I'm like, we're making a statement for immigration because their community, LGBT and Pride Month, we love. Those are all the virtue signaling things are the appearance to be humble with a lack of true humility.
Well, the other thing too is that, don't you think that the humility from great athletes like a Caitlin Clark or a Tom Brady or whatever,
or Tim Tebow?
Well, and this is what I will say. Tim Tebow is another good example, but these are people that are not necessarily physical specimens. You know what I mean? When you look at Caitlin
Tebow
Clark,
was a specimen.
But I'm saying, when you look at, but by comparison, these are white. I mean, we're talking about white athletes, right? And so, for Tom Brady to be a 6th round pick and to become what he became, there's so much hard work that goes into that. So in a way, the gratitude to me seems like a reflection of the fruits of their labor. They're like, of course I should be preparing to get this kind of attention. This is what I worked for, right? Versus a 6'3" black bitch who's been in basketball forever because she's a 6'3" black bitch, and she's just naturally faster and stronger and taller than most of the other women in the sport. So she's gifted, but may not have to work at it to the degree that a Caitlin Clark has, or that a Tom Brady has, or whatever. And so,
Caitlin Clark been whooping kids since she was a kid, and she played with boys and shit. And her dad was training and saying, listen, if you're gonna do this, you got to be serious about it. And
that's my point. Is it's about an hours logged thing. So the humility of when somebody comes up to you as a comic or me as a comic and they're like, wow, man, you're like, we'll have people that'll come see us and they've never seen us live. They only know us through podcasting or whatever else. I'm like, wow, man, you guys are really, you're better than I thought. And we're like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But we also sort of expect that of ourselves, you know, because we know the amount of time we put into it. We know how much time we spend writing.
But that's the action. That's the humility and the and the humbleness. Because easily you could have been like, well, I better be fucking good at it. I've been doing it for fucking 15 years.
But listen to how you said that and how the people that say that is, I've been doing it for 15 years. That doesn't mean you've been working at it for 15 years. It doesn't mean you've really put the time in. And so like when you are met with humility by someone who is exceptional at something, it could be art, it could be sports, it could be whatever, that humility comes from the fact that they genuinely know that they've had to work at it. They've had to put real effort into becoming good at it or recognizable at it or whatever. And that aversion that you see from like that second bitch that we played, I don't know, Caitlin Plum, I don't even remember what her name was. Kelsey Plum. That comes from a like, why are you out here? And it's like, well, you're asking them that because you don't feel like you've earned their attention. I know,
but there also is there's a different philosophy too, though, and not to always go with our left-right paradigm in this country where it comes from, but Caitlin went to Iowa, right? Yeah. Kelsey Plum is a girl who's like, I'm pretty sure she was at Washington. She was at UW. She went to Washington. She's a West Coast liberal chick. She's talks kind of like a wigger, like the same way that Paige Beckers and all the other ones. She was like, I want to take this time to thank all the black women and highlight them and the black women who came before me in this sport. Like, why? They didn't go, thanks for this white bring all this attention. So why are you doing that for them? Right? There is this like thing about Caitlin that she just plays ball. She's always just done her thing. And then there's a story, and like you find out, like her dad would take her to these tournaments, and he would train with her and put in all these hours, and like the hard work pays off, sort of thing. And you're like, yeah, dude, I like this girl. And then they just ESPN shows a highlight of her like, bang for 3, and she's just like lighting bitches up like right after that. And you go like, I'll watch this girl play, and like the
clip they didn't show in that I shared. There's another clip after that, where it's like at the end of the quarter or the end of the game or something, she drains a 3 right in the face of the bitch that knocked her down. And literally it was like, what? And you're like, yo, I'm hard as a rock for that shit. Like,
no, I'll tell you what I liked. I tell you what I liked. Did you see?
Of course you're going to cut out when you're like, you know what I like. What'd you say? You cut out.
Did you say they call her their Caitlin's beautiful enforcer, Sophie Cunningham?
Oh yeah. When she got up in that other bitch face, and it turned almost turned
her and like grabbed her, and she did a Muay Thai clinch and like on the bitch's head.
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham.
She gained 535,000 followers
from that moment, from that one moment. That's insane.
That's what they don't understand. You know why? She's Caitlin Clark's teammate.
Well, here's the other thing that is sort of like, I guess I'm optimistic for, right? This might be a little wishful thinking, but it's a genuine feeling that I have. So I can't it's hard to compartmentalize, but like, don't you look at somebody like a Caitlin Clark and go like, oh, this is a woman who has the potential to balance the force. And what I mean by that is, and you always give me shit of like, I don't care about their accomplishments or their talents or whatever else, but like, isn't Caitlin Clark being all the things we're talking about, exceptional at her sport, humble in the face of adoration, all of that stuff? Aren't those really attractive qualities? And so when you look at it, what I like about Caitlin Clark the most is this is a chick who physically is probably a 5, a 6, whatever. She's in good shape, but she's not classically pretty by any means that people would say. But she's not overly masculine either. She doesn't look like a fucking dude. She's just like, she doesn't
not look like a dude.
But she's sort of like an Iowa farm girl, right? And so, but the humility, the character, the niceness Like, she is what I consider to be a more high value woman. And so I do look at people like Caitlin Clark, or even like a Lord being like a nice, like gracious person in an interview, and not some fucking diaper assed, plastic surgery cunt of a celebrity. When you see these people who are also nice and also gracious and also work very hard at it, I do feel like they bring balance to the force in this culture of women who want everything but do nothing. They don't work hard at anything. They aren't good people. They aren't of character or whatever. So I look at these women and go, the reason that both I like them and I think other women hate them is because they raise the bar now for what's expected of women. No, you have to be good at the sport. Like, this is what women in the WNBA hate. No, you have to be exceptional at the sport for people to want to follow you this much. You can't just play it. You can't just be a girl playing basketball anymore. You got to be a fucking star athlete. And now that there is a star athlete in the WNBA, it's raised the bar for everyone else in the WNBA. When a humble, celebrity comes out as a nice, gracious, decent human being, that changes the expectation for every other person, like every other pop star. And as much as people hate Taylor Swift or want to hate on Taylor Swift, you've never seen Taylor Swift be a cunt to people. Like, you just this week when they were in Florida to watch the Panthers win another Stanley Cup, she took the day while Travis was training to go to a children's hospital and just pop in on kids in the hospital, and was just like, hey, and she doesn't say, hey, we just wanted to come. She's like, thank you for letting me visit you, is what she says to these like terminally ill kids in the hospital. Like, thank you for seeing me. And it's like, whether that's manufactured,
genuine or fake, it doesn't matter. It happened.
Right. It's just like,
that's perception.
That's how she's spending her time. So like, people can be like, fuck her. And listen, I watched her documentary where she was like doing liberal bullshit or whatever, which you can clearly tell she very much felt pressured to do.
Do you see JoJo said that?
No.
She came out and said she was pressured to say she was a lesbian.
JoJo, the
Siwa or whatever her name is.
JoJo Siwa. Oh no. But no, I believe that. Yeah, I totally believe that. So, and I genuinely believe, like, you and I both know that there are liberals who have liberal ideas because they believe it makes them better than you. And then I do believe there are people who have liberal ideas because they believe that doing the nice thing is more important than maybe doing the right thing. And I do look at somebody like Taylor Swift, and I do think she thinks she's doing the nice thing. Like, she thinks the nice thing is the right thing. She doesn't think it makes her better than you. She doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
and it's just like, because they're kind of told, like, nobody's ever going to fault you for being nice.
Right. But I mean, like, I never had the feeling from Taylor Swift when Taylor Swift took like a liberal point of view on something, that she's doing it from this disconnected from reality, maybe a little bit, but like, I don't feel the same way about her as I do about Amy Schumer or Lena Dunham or those type of people where you go like, no, there's a very liberal elite. What'd you say?
Jews.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. There's a very liberal elitist tone to it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I've never gotten that tone from Taylor. I've always gotten the tone from Taylor that she's like genuinely a nice girl who's trying to do the right thing. And I think that's why so many people fucking hate Taylor Swift, is because at the core, she's just genuinely a good chick who's trying to do the right thing. And she writes the kind of music she likes. And she found a way to make that very, very popular and successful. And it has this wide appeal. And so that's why people like Kanye, shit talk her in an awards show. And like, but Beyonce did, but Beyonce this and Beyonce. And it's like, yeah, people don't care about that. Like, you're over here trying to be this Prince-like enigma, emphasis on the nig. And, like you're trying to be, something that is perceived to have value, rather than just being something of value. Does that make sense? Like I'm kind of a little bit here.
So you think that
But speaking from personal
Caitlyn will balance the Force? Do you
like I find Caitlin Clark more attractive than a lot of other female athletes that don't have that humility or that sort of like blue collar work ethic approach to what they do. The same thing with Lord. Like Lord is not like a traditionally attractive pop star, but the fact that I've seen interviews and she seems like a nice person makes you like that person more. Cunts and skanks hate these kinds of women because they disrupt the fucking force of transactional bullshit based off.
That's what I was gonna say. So like, Anakin is the one who balances the Force, and he did balance the Force, and they murdered him.
Yeah,
and because they were trying to do the right thing, the good guys, right? And he was like,
talking about the Judais.
So, the Jedis, the Jedi.
The Jedis. That's fucking. That's funny.
The fact that he's balancing the Force and he does that. Why does he get killed? Because he's manipulated and told that, hey, these motherfuckers gotta go. And he's like, well, I'll kill them all then. That's fine. I don't really care.
If you go back and watch if you go back and watch the first 6 Star Wars movies, and you think of the Jedi Council as Israel, like we're this ancient religion that believes we know better than everybody, and we'll tell you what right and wrong is, even though you believe, like if you come from
that only certain people can be Jedi, and they have to
they
have to have midichlorians.
Yes.
What are those? Well, it's a complicated thing. Your mother has to be Jewish.
You either have it or you don't. They'll tell you when you have the midichlorians.
And you could be born on Endor. You could be born in Jakku. But a Jedi is a Jedi is a Jedi.
Yeah. So in a very weird way, it's like you can kind of correlate the Jedi's attempt to influence politics and everything else, and basically run the government from behind the government. Very similar to the way.
What is their number one weapon and tactic other than a lightsaber?
Mind control.
The Jedi mind trick.
Yes, listen, I don't know if you understand, but I know it may seem this way, but however,
we don't need to pay taxes.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't need us to pay taxes.
Yeah, Yoda looks like
you don't need us to pay taxes anymore.
Yeah, Yoda looks like a retired Gringotts accountant, if we're being honest. So, but I mean,
I've seen a goblin hiding out from tax evasion. I know what one looks like.
Tax evading goblin, hilarious. But it's like they are a religious.
You or not?
Yeah, but you can tell it's like a religious cult that is trying to influence society and the government.
And all he did was, in their theory, use their policy of kill them when they're kids because they're going to grow up to be terrorists.
Yes.
And so he did that. And they called him a monster. What'd you do, Anakin? And he was like, come on, I can make you live forever. She's like, no, you can't. And then the whole lava shit happened, and then he was like, oh, of course I gotta be Darth Vader now because you fought niggas. Yeah, it's basically.
Yeah, now I know how I'm spending my Friday night, rewatching Star Wars through a lens of Judaism. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yo, fuck this.
Phantom of the Menace. Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. Episode 4 comes around. There's a new hope.
Yeah.
Perhaps a next generation Messiah, if you
That's
will.
Obama. That's Obama.
And no, his
Luke
name is from the book of Luke. I don't know if you've heard of the name Luke. He walks on sky. It's basically he trains and has the one who balances the force within his bloodline, and
right.
he's a little retarded.
Yeah, I got to go back and rewatch New Hope because I don't remember. But was Obi-Wan sucking baby dicks when they found him?
I knew your father.
I'll be right with you, gentlemen.
Vader killed your father. Really? You know my father? Yes, he was the best. He was the best boil in the galaxy. Foreskin Skywalker.
Oh my god! All right, well this is fun. Dark side.
So, having said that, these bitches are going to destroy. And you said in the next couple years or whatever, I will say this. I think she's so humble. I think what's going to happen is the same thing that women do to everything. They ruin it, and they make her leave the WNBA. She'll start her own like Big Three basketball league where people will go, I bet I could beat Caitlin Clark. And just every night on like Instagram, she's gonna be beating the shit out of somebody else in basketball.
Yeah.
And that'll be her life.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that league is gonna crumble if they keep doing this to her.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's crazy to see that, like, when she plays, they have to change the size of the arenas. Yeah. And then when she got injured, they were like, oh, now we have to go back down to the TPs that we were playing in before Caitlin Clark. Like,
do you think Sophie Cunningham is hot?
I don't know. Let me look at her. Wow, she looks like she does HR. Yeah, she's hot.
Go to her newest team photo. I think is the.
Oh, see, it's fun. Yeah, she kind of looks like. First of all, she looks like
she's so tall, dude.
She is every single mother.
She's so tall.
In the Midwest. You know me, I don't mind a tall bitch.
I know, that's why I asked you if that she was hot.
Yeah, dude, this looks like every single mom I banged from the mid 2000s.
You think they all look like she's from Wisconsin?
Yeah, it's just where you guys got a gig? You guys are doing
Indiana. I'm not going to Gary. You know how dark it gets.
Yeah. This is her young, I guess. Now see, like that's every chick in the Midwest. That's every chick in the Midwest. I'll bang her out.
Missouri.
And then this is her now. I don't like the sleeves. I don't like you sleeved up with the high waist. That's very Midwest mom. Yeah. See, I got
the fourth photo in. You're the fourth photo in is her new team photo, I think.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's like her. That's her like now.
Of water. You wouldn't bang that out. I would think you would. Dude. I think you would bang out one of these tall WNBA bitches and have like Viking children. That's
what everybody thinks. But
yes, but I know you like you famously
like them little circus hoes.
You like them little tiny spinners. Yeah, see, I'll bang this out on the right. Yeah, she looks on. She looks like she broke Amish.
On the right?
Caitlin Clark. I'd bang out Caitlin Clark. She looks like she broke Amish. Yeah,
I like Haley Van Lith.
Which one is that? Which one of these lesbians is that? Haley Van Lith. Oh, of course you like this one. This one looks like a midge. Fucking pigtails. Florence Pugh face. You like them when they have those pig noses, don't you?
She got a fat booty too.
This is her LSU. I can't even see. Oh, what is that? Look at that hamburger meat on her leg. Oh, dude, no, absolutely not. Not with those. Oh,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Hamburger meat legs.
What does that mean?
You can't see this? Let me zoom in this photo.
No.
Look at the legs. Look at it. What is this? What is this?
She's running in motion. It's probably moving.
Well, it should move like that. My legs don't even jiggle like that, dog.
Oh, dude. She's fine.
All right. Well. So wait a minute.
She's in the new she's in the swimsuit.
You'd bang.
She's in Sports Illustrated. Haley Van Lith, Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated cover. Oh, okay. This is her right here. That's all right. I tell you, they probably airbrushed them fucking legs, though. Why is her head so small? You like this bitch with a small head?
Dude, who's looking at the size of their heads?
Jesus. Yeah, I see what you mean about the fat ass and legs, though. Oh, my God. Look at that. That's like some Kardashian ass. Jesus.
Yeah, she got a butt.
That's what you're into? You like that? You like all that bass in your face?
And she's not that tall.
Yeah. You don't
For a girl, like she's like 5'7".
You really don't like a tall bitch. I'll tell you, you got a real complex about being with a big bitch. You really don't like it.
Bro, they like to wear this. I'm telling you about women when they go out. They like to wear I don't date like chicks that just want to wear sneakers all the time and shit.
No, they wear heels.
So girls that want to wear heels and shit, they're like 4 to 6 inches sometimes.
Yeah, I don't care if a chick is 5'9" and wears 6-inch heels and ends up standing 2 inches taller than me. I don't care.
I don't want to be eye to eye with a bitch like a UFC fight.
We're not when she's wearing heels. We're not fucking. We're out. You don't want a bitch taller than you in heels when you're out? First of all, she's not going to be taller
than me. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want a bitch even in my height radius. This shit is not. I'm like, I look at them different. I make them think like, check a bitch Adam's apple. She up here with me.
You use her like a periscope. That's how I would use her. Hey, can you?
I just use it as like, I know that motherfucking bitch taller than 5'9". It could be in that realm of how long you been a woman.
No, I don't.
In this day and age, in the area codes we live in,
I go as tall as 6 feet. I wouldn't have a problem with a chick taller than me. I wouldn't care.
Them chicks in the WNBA are like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, I would, if a bitch cold,
no problem.
No problem. She'd be 6'2". I'd be my little 6 foot ass. If she cold, I don't give a shit. You know, I'll hit you with the Matt Sarah line. Everybody's the same height on the floor. Old jiu-jitsu methodology. Yeah, well, where are you fucking? In the shower, standing up? That's why you can't have.
How about a bed where it's nice,
laying on the bed,
nice and comfy.
Yeah. Listen,
on the floor.
The floor is good. I like the floor. It's firm. There's no.
I don't like a floor.
Give. Yeah, I like a floor because they can mash down into it, and you know.
But I need the knee action and like a floor. I have carpet in my bedroom. I'm gonna get a rug burn.
Yeah. Ew. Yeah, rug burn's great. You don't like rug burn?
No. Are you talking about like pussy rug burn or like?
I'm talking about all rugs. I'm talking about all kinds of carpets and rugs, sir. Talk about that rug burn.
Speaking of carpets and rugs, HR departments.
I tried to find this clip of this. That
Jennifer Say?
Yeah, what was it? Jennifer Say, Human Resources.
HR. Just type in HR, yeah. First woman company. She's giving a talk.
Yeah,
you can probably just go to her Twitter.
Yeah, I've got the article here pulled up. Yeah, I've ditched HR to free my company from the social justice police. This is the article you're talking about, right?
You mean
women? Right. So you're only hiring men now, is what you're saying.
No, so she gave this talk. I don't know what the fuck. She's like, even saying, I want to be the first woman. I said, I wanted to be the first woman. You know, I want to be a woman to have the first company to not have an HR department.
Oh, yeah. She created XXXY, which was like, it was like that company that came out as a fuck you to trans athletes.
Guess what? All companies used to not have HR departments until
Yeah.
you bitches even started working. So if you didn't have a job at all, we could go back to regular scheduled programming.
Yeah.
I don't know what this article is.
Well, she's, here it says, here's a line that I pull from this. When I started my business career in the early 90s, HR was responsible for recruiting, benefits, and payroll. That was it. As I moved up the ladder and found myself in executive meetings, the HR leader weighed in last on key business decisions, if at all. And by the way, like, she's not wrong about that. When I worked in, like, I kind of my corporate career kind of spanned this shift where the HR people were never really consulted for any sort of business decisions. If anything, it was sort of like, hey, we're going to fire this person. We're going to loop you in to handle it and to, process their final paycheck and everything else. But the HR person was never asked, like, what do you think we should do? And then around the mid 2000s, that sort of changed. Like, and I remember having those conversations change in my business where, and I was fortunately very good at being sort of legally buttoned up. So like we would never have issues where I'd want to fire somebody and we didn't have the correct documentation or paperwork or whatever to be able to do it and not get sued. But a lot of my counterparts didn't. And it got to a point where because they were sort of bad at operating their business, their HR people had to sort of step in and be like, well, I have to performance manage this manager because you're not doing it and we can't fire them unless you do. So it went from being a little bit of hand-holding to the point where HR people started feeling like they had a voice in the conversation, where it was like, hey, I don't think we should do this, or I don't think we should do that. And then as more and more of them came out of academia, the job shifted to like, no, we are the cultural tone setters for a company. Like, we tell you what you stand for. And it was
also with
almost
the fact that
rewriting statements.
The fact that internet and like even like a mom and pop a donut shop could have a YouTube channel. Everybody, if they have a business, had an HR department in which they felt anything that goes out from this business is now like they're acting as like standards and practices of a TV network.
Well, agreed.
Now they're like, this is what you can and can't say. This is what you can and can't do. And you're like, what the fuck? You're supposed to hire people, you cocksucker.
Well,
get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, this is what I think is so funny. When I got canceled in 2018, right? It was big on the internet, but it wasn't really big anywhere else. But I had friends, and at the time I had like 100,000 followers on Twitter or something, about the same that I have now. And I had friends who were like making, I mean, this happened recently, which we talked about, but I had friends making like public statements to distance themselves from me. And they were like a PR firm had given them, a directive on how to crisis manage the thing I was going through. And I'm like, you're an open mic comedian with like fucking 5,000 followers on Twitter. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, nobody gives and I remember texting this person, him, and being like, what are you doing making a statement? And he was like, well, I need to protect my platform. And I'm like, platform? Like, listen to you. Like, you've done nothing. This is a comic who at the time hadn't done anything, and now 8 years later still hasn't done anything, and is like, I need to protect my platform. Like, what are these fucking people? You know what I mean? Like, I need to, I worked hard for my platform. Like, fucking kill yourself.
I actually saw something interesting. A post from Long Beach Griffey is a content creator. He's hilarious. But he posted earlier, said, listen, AI is working fast and coming, and y'all niggas finna be unemployed. Everybody gonna be out of a job and shit. He goes, so post the content. Everything you're afraid to say, everything you're not, just post it. I think, like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
AI is going to take your job in a year. It's like,
and by the
and
way,
it's just like, and
and
now
what do
you
you
are
do?
so afraid to post it. You were afraid to lose your job during COVID. You was afraid to lose your job with this shit, and now you're afraid to even post what you want. Nigga, post that content.
Well, here's the thing that's so funny too is like I remember like wanting to be a comedian in 2013 when I got fired from the company I was working for and sued them and decided I was just going to Uber drive and try to make a go at doing stand up full time. I remember my dad being like, you don't want to be one of these starving artists, you want a sure thing. And then when COVID happened and people just got fucking laid off out of nowhere, I was like, yo, do you not understand that there are no sure things? The idea of a sure thing is not a sure thing. The rug can be
Seinfeld's residual is a sure thing.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like all the things that these people believe that they're saving or that they're sacrificing for, or that it's like I have to maintain, I have to protect my platform. It's like none of that's gonna matter. You know what I mean? Like none of that's gonna matter in fucking 5, 6, 7. Not to Patrick Bet David it, but like in 5, 6, 7 years, no one's going to remember what you did or didn't say.
Right. So when it goes back to like the Caitlin Clark thing, and like not to bring that shit up again, but her, like they could literally crumble the league by being these destructive forces in the same way that women have ruined companies with these HR departments. Is like they will literally like stop this woman from being as great as she can be because they can't stand the success of someone else. So like when it comes to the HR departments in these companies, they're setting things up and taking away the meritocracy within the business itself. There is no upward promotion in that regard. It's why the hiring is stagnant and where it is. It's why H1Bs and foreign hiring is through the roof. It's like all that shit because women have forged themselves into the corporate marketplace and the corporate world that they are these they like complain about gatekeepers just so they can go there. Whew, thank God I'm a gatekeeper now.
Right. Right.
It's just like all those men that are gatekeepers. All right. What do you do now? Well, I'm a gatekeeper now, but I'm just here so men can't have the job. And you go, like, what do you mean?
You're
you
a
don't like
professional job block?
You don't help the company grow or anything. Yeah. Oh no. See, I'm here making 120,000, which I should get way more because that's like so low. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm making 120 grand a year just to make sure that no man can have this job. and
literally what it is.
And you go like, well, how does that make sense? Is that not discrimination? It's like you can't discriminate against men. You can discriminate against gay men. You're like, yeah. You can discriminate against Jewish men.
Or black
men.
Yeah.
Or disabled men. But what about like regular white men?
Yeah,
like,
there's
ew. Why would we even look at those?
I literally remember having these conversations as a young manager and being like, well, wait a minute, what about this? Isn't this wrong? And they go like, well, white men aren't a protected class. And I even remember like as a 22-year-old like store manager being like, well, that's not right, and that probably isn't going to last forever.
Yeah, but what are they fucking animals? What's a protected class? What do you need protection from?
Your own retarded subhuman brain cells.
Well, they're not a protected class. And they go, yeah, because we don't need protection from what? We are the government. We're the people.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a way the idea that white men were excluded from class protection tells you that we are the apex predator of the species. Like, so this is the thing that's so funny is they go like, we live in a white supremacist society. It's like, yeah, that you built. You built society. You wokies built society around the pretext that white men are superior because you didn't even include them in discriminatory laws.
Or you just don't try. So the only people that are going to get shit done are this. just don't try.
Yeah,
and just go like, man, can you believe they're doing all this, man?
Well, and that's the thing that's funny too is like, you know, I say this in the specials, like the real privilege of being a white man is knowing that everything you have, you've earned, and that no one's ever given you anything, and that no one is coming to save you because nothing is made for us. Nothing is made to protect us. Nothing is made to lift us up. Nothing is made to help us. And I said this on a thread on X earlier this week of like, this is what men's health
are.
Being don't derail me in the middle of making a point. The fuck? I don't even remember what I was saying.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I completely lost it.
You had a Mufasa moment.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Awesome.
What had to be interjected there that threw me off my saddle?
I was like an ad lib. I was just like piggybacking.
Oh yeah, but no, I was saying something about. Oh yeah. Just that, you know, men have no confusion about where their success comes from because they have to fight everyone tooth and nail to have any of it. You know, like, you know, white male today, it's like you can be the best at something and they'll still try to take it away from you because they'll go like, well, you know, he doesn't deserve it. Whether you earned it or not, they go that he doesn't deserve it, you know? And so,
you think that is, I believe where that comes from, and it's subconscious to these people. They don't even realize that they do it. I think it's because they're trained and they have a Stockholm syndrome sort of thing from their government and getting overtaxed.
that you're saying that white men have a Stockholm syndrome?
No, why people act like this when it comes to like nobody does anything about it or anything. They're just like kind of have a Stockholm syndrome because their government actually overtaxes them. So they're never going to do it in the workplace or somewhere else because that's how we act in society.
Well, yeah, it's not just the overtaxing thing. It's you know, they're submissive to their government or authority every step of the way. So they believe
they're authoritarians.
Yeah, I mean that is authoritarianism, which is the belief that like all the most you can have is what somebody gives you. Mm-hmm. Right? So in a weird way, it's like even people that are handout entitlement people are authoritarian in their mindset because they're waiting to be given something by someone in a position of power.
Right. The whole authoritarian thing is
whereas people like you and I just don't want authority taking away the shit that we're trying to earn for ourselves.
Well, authoritarians too is so funny that when they talk about it, they always talk about like a dictator or the authoritarian leader, but they never talk about but they never talk about the people that follow. And it's like, no, you're an authoritarian for waiting for permission for the government to tell you when to go outside or the 6 feet apart or, hey, they said we can wear masks. Hey, did you see the government said we could go outside? It was like, no, you're the authoritarian. You're waiting to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Like government me harder, daddy is authoritarianism. Like you waiting to be told and given permission from your government, is it? So the idea, the most authoritarian example I can give in a modern day thing is car registration. Car registration is the most authoritarian regime bullshit ever. You're paying the state money to ask permission to use the thing you already paid for that you got taxed on it, both when you bought it and yearly when you pay it.
And every time you put gas in it,
yeah,
you pay tax every time.
Or any maintenance that you do on it, or any car registration is just authoritarian permission slip bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, but from a government that does this all the time, this is why an HR department is not challenged anymore, because they think this is just how it is. Well, what are you going to do? This is how it is. And you go, no, it's not. You don't have, there's no law on the fucking books that says your company has to have an HR department. All you have to do is comply with all the laws. As long as you're employing people and you're not like harming them or putting them in harm's way or shorting their hours or fucking around and doing any shit like that, and you're just upfront and honest, you don't have to have an HR department. It's absolutely stupid to even have one because you cut the cost in half.
Well, in a weird way, an HR department is sort of like insurance, right? Like you're paying somebody internally to limit your liability of being sued. But the reality is, I think the point you're making is like,
why don't you just be a better manager or a better owner or a better...
But in today's society, with the amount of transfer of information and how litigious people are and how quickly they can research and find a lawyer, whatever, it's not like it was in the 60s or 70s or 80s where a good HR department could prevent lawsuits because of their relationship with your employees. People are going to sue you now whether they have a case or not because they can, and it's easy, and lawyers will take these cases on a contingency where you don't have to pay them anything up front. Right. If they believe they can get a settlement out of the company, it's like extortion. So right. To your point, like there's no reason to have an HR department anymore because people who are going to try to sue you are going to do it whether you have an internal system or not, regardless. So all you're doing now is spending more money to bog your company down.
Exactly.
And you're also opening so many cans of worms that like where things become open to interpretation where there really is no liability to begin with. Like here's a great example. Why does a company have to preserve the feelings of a trans person in the workplace? Well, the only reason that they would have any obligation to make a trans person feel quote unquote comfortable on the job is because they've promised them that in a policy manual. You know, like if a trans person, like if you and I own a company, right? And we hire a trans person and we don't have HR and the trans person comes to me and goes, I think Carl is transphobic. And I feel like he's affecting my work. I'd go, well, it sounds like you have a civil liability issue with Carl and you should talk to the courts. And so that person, rather than coming to an HR and tattling and the HR going, well, this could become a company liability. If you don't assume any liability by being involved in that relationship at all, they have no case. They have no case. Because they would go, well, what are they going to do? Go to the court and go, Carl, who I work with, is transphobic. And they go, okay, great. You want to sue him? You're going to have to put up the money to do that. And you're going to have to go through a case. And you're going to have to prove to the court that he is transphobic and it's affecting your work and costing you money. If a company doesn't get involved in these things at all, they become civil issues between citizens.
Which makes me go one step further. Aren't discrimination laws the dumbest things ever?
Well, it's so stupid.
Why am I not allowed to discriminate? Isn't discrimination going to keep me safe from murder?
Sometimes
robbery.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing it against blacks, yes, statistically speaking, yeah, it's going to protect you.
I'm saying discrimination is just like, dude, I bet if there's like there's an alleyway that you walk down.
It's a double-edged sword because, if you discriminate against black people, sure, you'll protect yourself from the violence and the aggression and the loudness and the criminal element related to their impoverished way of living. But you also deprive yourself of all the good things like
laughter.
Yeah, no, okay, that's one. Sure, that's one. I was trying to really think.
It's definitely some laughs hard.
Is there a positive that you're depriving yourself of? Yeah, some laughter. There's some there's some funniness. If you like to watch people dance or throw a football, that's cool.
Or hoop.
Or hoop around a little bit, you know what I'm talking about? Like fucking fire some, drop a little couple of nuggies in them hoops.
About 4 or 5 hoops over there. I wouldn't go there if I was you.
Yeah, we should probably explain this to people. You are tickled by the fact that my father's substitute N-word for black people is hoops.
Yeah.
He calls them
it's
hoops.
Great. It's great.
And he didn't start that, by the way. Hoops was started by a guy my dad worked with at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard who went by the nickname Hook. And Hook would be like, "You see them fucking hoops over there? Look at them. They love it."
I can see your dad cracking up for that. Hey, you fucking Hook. I've been calling him hoops.
Yeah. Yeah. Hoops.
I was dying. I seen him at the park the other day. I said, "Hey, they are hoops."
Yeah. Well, you come up with things like this when you work for the federal government, and you don't want to get fired by calling them nogs. You can't walk around the shipyard being like, fucking. So, hoops was not a protected slur, so you could call them hoops all day.
That's what I'm saying, like euphemisms.
Yeah.
So, like euphemisms is just like, well, you can't be racist. And you go, I don't write the rules here. I just work here.
But this
racist.
But this is what we say all the time, which is why the rules around the N-word are stupid, because it's like, okay, so let's say I follow the rules and I just invent something like hoops. I'm still saying it. You're not stopping me.
Well, here's what my new favorite thing is. You know, a YN is?
No.
So that's the name for exactly what it sounds like, young niggas.
Uh-huh.
And it's like when you see them with the fucking shiesty masks on, the skinny kids and the hoodies, and they have just the young black kids up to no good and shit.
They all have Patrick Mahomes hair.
Yeah, and when they say they're up to no good, like what they doing, that's like the OG. Everybody else, they call these young kids the YNs. I see the YNs out on the corner. Look at this YN out here, right? Guess what? Thank you.
Yeah,
because now I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it because you mean to say young niggas, and I mean to say it as well. and I'm like, thanks. My dad has been saying it. My dad's been calling you guys YNs forever. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. The YN's up there trying to sell me the candy outside the store.
It's so stupid too, because it's like, so what? Now we have to work around this. Like, we have to find a new word because the old word is offensive. Well, the new word's just replacing the old word.
It's just to describe the same behavior.
We're talking about the same. Oh, you call them ravens. You could just start calling them ravens, and I'd be like, "Yo, dude, there's a fucking couple of ravens across the street. Let's cross." Like, call them whatever you want. It's so arbitrary and stupid. This is the thing. Is like, I heard when I lived in Minnesota, I heard 100 ways to say the N-word without ever saying it. You know what I mean? Like, I had a bit about this for a while.
That Midwest
where they're just like, "Oh, have you seen them? Oh, there's something else." It's like, yeah, not human.
Oh yeah,
no,
I know exactly what you're talking about over there. You know, could be something you see out of Tarzan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know just what you mean. Don't you know? I was out there the other day and I saw something that reminded me I was in the Jungle Book.
That's the only thing that the movie Fargo is missing that would have made it perfect, is the tiptoeing around race that Midwestern people do, where we're like, "Oh, have you seen her husband? Have you seen this new husband she's got?"
Well, I heard.
He's black. He's black.
Well, I didn't hear it. You didn't hear it from me, but I heard that it's worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
I heard he's one of those city ones.
Oh.
With the whole,
It's St. Paul. St. Paul.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, I'll take nigger. I'll take that.
The ones that put the teeth in there.
Yeah, are you talking
those ones with the teeth?
Are you talking about like voodoo Africans?
No, they got and it's made of jewelry.
Oh, grills. You're talking about grills.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh, no, we grill out on the lake every summer.
That's really something they got there in their mouths. How do they do that there?
Well, it's jewelry. It's true,
Yeah, but how do they put that in? Does it hurt? Oh,
I don't know. I don't speak to them ever. That's what it is.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, we have to sit over here and speculate because we wouldn't dare talk to one. That's pretty much what it is.
What are we going to talk to him?
Yeah. What are we going to
I'm a liberal.
I'm not going to. I wouldn't want to offend one by talking to it. So I'll just stay over here and speculate. I'm a good person.
They probably hate me because I'm white and an oppressor anyways.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother them with human contact. Why
would I even?
Yeah, I like that they talk about them like they're lions at the zoo.
Hey, lion, motherfucker!
By the way, I watched the Harambe video recently.
Where they kill it?
No, just the whole video of the kid falling in and the gorilla grabbing it and running it around and everything else. And, it was clearly trying to protect one of its own. I mean, like, there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put what you saw. The child was in no danger. If anything, probably would have grown up to be a pretty good young man if he just stayed there living with the gorillas.
Yeah, I mean, look, Harambe saw a YN and acted accordingly, and then and just like most incidents involving a YN, somebody got shot.
Yeah. And by the way, do you know who caused the shooting? Black women, irresponsible black women. It was like, my baby fell in, kill this motherfucker.
Were they black? I thought they were Mexican.
No, they were black. They were all black women. Black women. Come on, man. Cleveland.
Oh yeah, the Cleveland Zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, Cincinnati.
Was it Cincinnati?
I mean, they put fucking chili on spaghetti.
It was the Cincinnati Zoo. Yeah,
I thought that was Mexican.
Climbed under a fence into an outdoor gorilla enclosure where he was grabbed and violently dragged and thrown by Harambe. He really wasn't. He was dragged.
He definitely got dragged under the water, though.
Yeah, he drug him. But he was fine. I bet he didn't even have injuries. Isaiah Dickerson.
Oh, yeah. He's not Mexican at all.
Yeah.
Isaiah. What I told you about climbing up on it.
Yeah. And no point did anyone stop and go like,
Harambe.
Is this, like, there's a reason why the child was like, are you my dad?
I'm a Christian, and you ain't gonna stand there and tell me.
We had this whole thing prepared. We were going to talk about hockey and taxes, but I think we've run.
There's no way I'm going to talk about hockey.
Yeah, I have no energy to get into that.
You need like a sandwich and a cup of coffee or something.
By the way, we talked about it earlier, and it put me into a fucking 2.5 hour coma afterwards. That's how boring the conversation got.
Yeah, I don't think that's even show worthy at this point.
Yeah, no, but it's. Listen, we'll do the Reader's Digest version. Canada sucks at hockey. They have for 30 years.
We didn't even talk about Iran.
I know. It's just go watch Star Wars and you'll understand what's going on with Israel and Iran. It is kind of funny that in Team America World Police, when he walks into the terrorist bar, it is like the Star Wars cantina. So Trey and Matt might have been light years ahead of being like, hey, you ever notice how Star Wars is very,
Durka.
Yeah. Bakalaka Daka, Muhammad Jihad.
Bakalaka Daka, Muhammad Jihad. Well,
it's a good way to end it. That's what we'll name this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, mostly on Twitter today. We do this show every Friday for the most part, Friday nights, 4:30 or 5:30 if I fall asleep. You see this little thing scrolling across the bottom. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/the Big Uglies podcast. It's the only way to support the show. You can go on there, give us a little bit of money every month, and you can chat with us and leave comments. And it's a whole fun little community. So jump in there and help us build it. Be part of it. Be part of the active thing. You know, the whole concept of the show is big, ugly topics that, you know, can't be talked about in regular media. So come in and talk that shit. We don't have an department.
Why don't you give us some big, ugly topics?
Yeah, things that you're like, listen, no one else is going to cover this. You guys should cover it. You know, we'll talk about the bull dykes in the WNBA. We'll talk about nogtivities. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to get into. Another way to support the show is go to biguglyshop.com. You can go over there and get Big Ugly's merch. And God, I gotta put some new merch up. We haven't put up new merch in a while.
Yeah, hit a nigga Cash App.
That is the blackest thing. Just hit a nigga cash. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what else to say.
I'm making you wear the hat for the show from now on. I'm getting you.
You can do this on Venmo or PayPal or a Cash App. On nigga birthday next week, hit a nigga Cash App.
That's true. You get a birthday.
Hit a nigga Cash App.
6 days. You got anything you want to do special for that birthday? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that.
Yeah,
okay.
You do.
Jesus. Well, I don't think I'm a part of any of that. Thanks, everybody.
You know what that is.